Thank you for coming today. There's a lot of anticipation for Saturday's great fight card at Barclays Center. We are proud to continue to bring the best of boxing to Brooklyn. Before we continue, I'd like to mention that at the end of today's press conference, we will have a brief Q&A, followed by a photo op, and then one-on-ones. I'd now like to introduce our first speaker. He has been instrumental in leading the renaissance of major professional boxing in Brooklyn. Please welcome the CEO of Barclays Center, Brett Yormark.
Thank you, Barry. And thanks to all of you for being here today at the Barclays Center. We're really excited about Saturday night's fight, and I personally want to thank Artie Palullo of Banner Promotions. Artie, we thank you for bringing a great fight card to the Barclays Center this Saturday night. Along with Banner, we're thrilled to be collaborating with other great promoters that are on this stage today, and obviously will be in the house on Saturday night. I want to thank Ruslán Provodnikov and Chris Algieri for fighting on Brooklyn's biggest stage this Saturday night. Their unique boxing styles are going to make for an exciting bout and cap off what will be a great evening here at the Barclays Center. I also want to thank Peter Nelson from HBO for making this a Boxing After Dark event, and for again putting Brooklyn on a national stage. Saturday will be our 8th World Championship card in just 21 months. And it goes without saying that Barclays Center has become the center of boxing on the East Coast. We are proud to continue our tradition of welcoming Brooklyn's best fighters to Barclays Center. And in particular, we're delighted for Brooklyn's own Heather the Heat Hardy to participate in the first professional women's fight at Barclays Center against Jackie Tribolino. Good luck, Heather. You're making the borough proud. Once again, thank you to everyone for coming today. I'm looking forward to welcoming all of you back for our August 9th Golden Boy card. More details to follow on that. But now it is my personal pleasure to introduce the president of Banner Promotions, Mr. Artie Palullo.
Good afternoon. And Barry, this is for you. Hello, Brooklyn. We're very happy that everybody's here. It's very exciting working with Brett and his whole staff. They're very nice people. It is our first venture in here, and all this became possible when, and I said it at the first press conference, and I'm going to say it again, that Golden Boy, who had an exclusive in the building, was gracious enough to let us bring this fight. And I wanted to thank Brett and Golden Boy for that one more time. So, this is the final press conference for Ruslán Проводников and Chris Algieri for the WBO Junior Middleweight World Title, Demetrius Andre, Brian Rose for the WBO Junior Middleweight World Title and Junior Welterweight World Title. So it's a great card. On behalf of my partner, Top Rank Bob Arum, we want to thank everybody for coming. I would like to bring Carl Moretti up, the Senior Vice President of Top Rank, and a friend of mine for 20 years, on behalf of Bob and his company, and then Carl will also talk about Shawnee in the car.
Thanks, Artie. Artie's from South Philly, and him in Brooklyn is a funny sight, but I know he's going to check all the Italian restaurants out as well. Yeah, right. We're privileged to be here as well. Thanks to Artie and Banner Promotions, we have an option, to be truth about it, on Ruslán Проводников, because we did him and Mike Alvarado last year from Denver, Colorado, and it was an amazing event. Just from a boxing stylistic point of view, I recommend not standing in front of Ruslán Проводникov, as Tim Bradley and Mike Alvarado will tell you. Chris Algieri has the style to give him problems. And really, that's the only kind of style that's going to beat a guy like this. So that's what makes this fight so intriguing on Saturday night. On the undercard, we promote Shawnee Monahan, and he will bring half of Long Island with him on Saturday night to Brooklyn. He's undefeated. He sells tickets. He makes great fights. He's a great kid. Peter, I know he's on your radar, and we'll see him soon on HBO, hopefully. So let me bring him up. I know this is the borough of Brooklyn, but the county of Long Island belongs to Shawnee Monahan, and they'll be in the house Saturday. Let me bring him up, Shawnee Monahan.
Hello, Brooklyn. Thank you guys for coming out. I'm a little too hungry today to be making big speeches, but I will say I'm coming to take care of business Saturday night. I'm going to have my army with me, and I'm going to do what I do. and it's going to be a great night. Algeria's a good friend of mine. I'm really rooting for him. Проводников's a great champion. It's going to be a great night of fights, and I'm coming to get it. You can believe that. Thank you.
And let me just bring up his manager, a fellow Irishman, who you should get to know after a fight. He's very interesting, PJ Kavanaugh.
Yeah, those of you that are from, there goes the phone. That you are? All right, those of you that are familiar with Sean, he is a very exciting fighter. And, you know, he's just got better and better. He's got a tough opponent in front of him on Saturday night, but he's ready. He trains hard all the time. He's going to give 100%. And I think people are going to be very excited and get great value for their ticket on Saturday. I want to thank my good friend Ari putting this together. He's one of my favorite Italian guys. And Top Rank has been great with us, and it's just been, everything has been coming together fantastic. So in saying that, thank Peter Nelson, HBO, and Sean will be in the ring, and I think he doesn't have half of Long Island. I think he has the whole of Long Island coming Saturday night. So we'll see you guys on Saturday night. Thank you.
Next person I'd like to bring up is a young fellow who was a rising star at HBO. He's a good kid, very good young man. He believed in Ruslán Проводников and gave him an opportunity, in his first opportunity, with Bradley. And then from that point on, you know, everybody knows he went on to beat Alvarado, and this is where we're at today. So I'd like to thank Peter, who I talk to all the time. And sometimes he's hollering at me and I'm hollering at him, but he's a good guy. He loves the sport, he loves the business, he cares about what he's doing. So I'd like to have Peter come up on behalf of HBO, because the reason why we're here is because of Peter and Ken Hershey. So Peter, why don't you come up on behalf of HBO?
Thanks, Artie. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank everyone in the media for making it out today. Also want to thank the fighters and their teams. It's a difficult thing to get a fight together for Ruslán Проводников after the Bradley fight, after the Alvarado fight, negotiation, or just trying to find opponents to fight him. It would be like calling up promoters and saying, "Are you interested in fighting Ruslán Проводникov?" Hello, hello, and on it would go. But we're thrilled that not only did we land a terrific fight in Chris Algieri, as Artie had mentioned, Ruslán had been on my radar for a long time, and Chris has been on my radar for a long time. I believe in both of these fighters immensely. They're both great fighters with profound understanding of their skill sets, and that's why this match is so intriguing. Ruslán, who, as everyone has seen, can be an incredible brawler, and Chris, who has one of the foremost intellects in the sport in terms of craft in the ring. And we're going to see how these styles collide on Saturday. For us, the co-feature is also great. You're going to be able to see a bright, rising star, American champion, Demetrius Andrade, in his mandatory defense against Brian Rose from the UK. An immense challenge there as well. We're looking for a big statement from somebody, and big things to come in that division. For Saturday, we also have a tremendous non-televised undercard, as Artie has mentioned, with Shai Monahan, Heather Hardy. So please set your DVRs. Our start time is 10 p.m. and we'll be beginning with the delay of the Cotto Martinez fight. They'll be rolling in to Demetrius and then the Проводников Algieri fight. It's going to be a tremendous night of boxing, and we look forward to seeing you all on Saturday. I want to thank the Barclays. A great venue like this brings out great performances and fighters, and we look forward to seeing that. Brett Yormark, obviously Golden Boy as well. We want to thank them for graciously allowing us to be here on Saturday. I want to thank Artie Palullo, particularly Banner Promotions. It's been a tremendous promotion working together, and in working hand in hand with Artie, we've been able to really develop a great event here, working with a number of different promoters, Joe DeGuardia, Top Rank, Lou DiBella. It's great when everyone can work together, and it's something that we always look forward to seeing. You know, Artie, he toiled for years with Ruslan, fighting on the undercards of Haddon, Freitas, and it's a wonderful thing to be able to see a fighter of Ruslan's caliber reach the fruition of his capability. And a large part of the credit for that also belongs to the architect of Cotto's victory last Saturday, Mr. Freddie Roach. It's a great event, bringing a lot of great personalities of boxing together, and we look forward to seeing you all on Saturday night. Thank you.
Right now, I'd like to have, he doesn't want to come up, but I'm going to have David Berlin, the new executive director of the New York State Athletic Commission. This is his first show that he'll be running on behalf of the commission, and he's a very nice guy, easy to work with, so I'd like to have David Berlin speak on behalf of the commission. David.
Hi everyone. I in turn would like to welcome Artie Palulo here. This is Banner Promotions' first card in New York. He's worked with the Oneida Nation, but this is the first time he's worked exclusively with the New York Commission. I've seen Artie's fights actually all over the country. I've been to his fights in Arizona. One of the great cards, top to bottom, I've ever seen was in Miami when Acelino Freitas fought Jorge Barrios, which was a back and forth battle, which Freitas won in the 12th round with a TKO. An incredible fight, and I'm expecting more of the same this weekend. I'm glad he's working with us, and we hope to bring many more shows to New York. I'd also like to welcome to this great city the fighters on the card. Obviously, that's our main concern, the boxers here. Also their first time in New York. Ruslan Проводnikov, first time fighting in New York. Brian Rose, first time fighting in New York. So I want to welcome you to this great city and this great state. Demetrius Andrade, you're coming back, and of course, we have our native son here, Chris Algieri, fighting for the world title. His first opportunity and a big opportunity, and it's fitting that it would be in this city. I want all of you fighters to know that whether you're from here or whether you're from another country, Russia, England, you're all going to get a fair shake in New York. You're going to have fair officials, honest officials, good officials. And the best man in the ring is going to be the winner of this fight. So welcome all of you, and thank you.
Next person I'd like to bring up is Heather. As Brett said, it's the first female professional fight in the building. She's a great young lady. She's undefeated. She's 9-0. She is promoted by DiBella Entertainment, and she's just been a pleasure to work with. She's got a huge fan base going to be here on Saturday night. So Heather, why don't you come on up and say hello and say what you'd like to.
I can't believe I'm here. This is so exciting. So I want to thank Banner Promotions for giving me this opportunity to showcase my talent on the big stage in Brooklyn. This is my borough, so super proud to do that. And really happy that female boxing is going to get some exposure. And unfortunately, we won't be on the HBO card this time, but maybe in the future.
Just to say a few words, the doors open at 7. The first bout is at 8. We go on HBO approximately 11 o'clock, Peter? Is that correct? Approximately 11 o'clock. So I just want to make that announcement. Now we're going to talk about the co-feature. And it's a very interesting fight. And it's a very important fight, as the main event is to all these kids. The challenger, Brian Rose, is promoted by Matchroom. And Eddie's dad and I have been friends for over 20 years. And Brian Rose is a very tough guy. He's the #1 contender. He's the mandatory challenger. Came over here a couple weeks early. They got an apartment in Jersey. Didn't stay at the hotel. They've been working out on their own. They came to win. And they know a win over the Olympian and undefeated champion, Demetrius Andrade, puts his career at another level. And that's what this is all about. Andrade, he needs to win because he thinks he's the best at what he does. And in order to do that, he has to beat the #1 challenger to move on to bigger fights. It's a stepping stone for both of them at different levels of their career, which is pretty good stuff. So right now I'd like to bring up Eddie Hearn, my friend and his family. I've known, like I said, for over 20 years. And then Eddie will introduce all of his team, and he'll take care of introducing Brian and so on. So Eddie, please.
Thank you, Artie. It's a pleasure to be here. This is a wonderful arena. First time I've been here, seen it on TV numerous occasions, and thanks to everybody at the Barclays Centre. It's an honour to be involved in a fight here. Just the customary thank yous. Artie Palula, quite rightly been a friend of my father's for many, many years. Of course, thank you to Top Rank, to Carl, to Bob Aaron, to HBO, to Peter Nelson, who we're all dealing with lots these days, breeds plenty of enthusiasm into the sport. To Sky Sports, our UK broadcaster, who will be carrying this card live across the UK. For those that don't know about Brian Rose, he's been keeping himself to himself over here. He had a great camp under the instruction of Bobby Rimmer, his head coach, Steve Wood, his manager, both here today. And he's ready to surprise a lot of people. Artie Palula pointed out quite rightly, he's the mandatory challenger. He earned this shot with victory over Javier Maciel, who you would have all seen get a great victory last week. And there's really no pressure on Brian Rose. He's here, and he's very confident. Of course, big pressure on the champion, who's a great fighter. And we look forward to a great fight. Ruslán Provodnikov, it's going to be a pleasure watching him fight. It's a fantastic card. And we're ready for a big statement from Brian Rose on Saturday, and a new world champion for Great Britain. Thank you very much. And I'd like to introduce Brian to say a few words. Thank you.
Hello Brooklyn. I just want to start by saying how great New York is, you know. I've never been here before and it's a beautiful place. I want to thank you all for your hospitality. You've all been very welcoming. In terms of the fight, I've done everything I've needed to do in training. I've sacrificed so much. The difference on the night between me and Andrade is the level of opponents we've been in with. I've had to dig deep so many times in a fight, and I don't believe he has. And I'm going to take him to a place that he's never been before on Saturday, and we're just going to see how good Demetrius Andrade is. We're going to see whether he's all hype, or we're going to see if he is a worthy world champion. I believe I've got the tools, I've got the grit and determination to beat Demetrius Andrade. I'm not here to make up the numbers, I'm here to go back with that world title. I've no doubt on my mind I'm going to win this world title. Thanks again.
I'd also just like to call up someone who's been instrumental in Brian's career so far and a big part of his victory on Saturday night, Bobby Rimmer. Please come and say a few words.
I just really want to reiterate what Brian said. The support we've had while we've been here has been phenomenal. You know, everybody's been great to us. You know, the gym that we've used, and you know, coming out here for 2 weeks, not being here before, and it's been fantastic. You know, things couldn't have gone better. There's not going to be any excuses on Saturday night. You know, Brian Rose is fighting a worthy champion, Demetrius Andrade. So, you know, everything's gone perfectly right for us. We couldn't have done anything different, we couldn't have done anything better. No matter what happens come Saturday night, there's no excuses from this team, you know. But we are here to win this title, and that's what we're going to do on Saturday night. Thank you.
Demetrius Andrade, Boo Boo, is promoted by Joe DeGuardia, Star Boxing, our company. You know, we can all get along. We're co-promoting the co-feature on his side, and then Chris is fighting Ruslán in the main event, so we're on opposite sides. So it takes a good relationship to be able to work through these things. And there's a lot of guys like Lou's company and Eddie Hearn, Top Rank. I mean, I've known Bob since I was 29 years old. So it's a good thing that we're all getting to work together, and then we're in this fabulous building. Demetrius Andrade is supposed to win. on Saturday night. He's supposed to win, and in order for him to achieve better fights and bigger fights, he has to win well. So the pressure on him is to do better than he's expected, and that's even more than that, and then so on and so on. At the end of the day, he's supposed to be an elite fighter, and it's his job to win. So I'd like to bring up first Joe DeGuardia. That's what I'm going to say on it. His father, Paul, and Ed Farris have been with him from the very beginning. His dad trained him since he was a little boy in the gyms when he was like 10 or 11 years old. This has been their whole world. Winning world titles, and then becoming a superstar. This is his whole career, everything about him is where he's at now and where he thinks he wants to be. That's the key. Where he thinks he wants to be is over top of him. That's why it's such an intriguing fight. Because both of them need it, like I said, for different reasons. He wants his career to take off, and he wants his to continue rising even in bigger and better fights. So right now, I would like to have my partner, Joe DeGuardia, to come up, speak about Demetrius, and then Joe will introduce Demetrius, and then his dad, and Ed Farris, on behalf of both of us. Thank you.
So firstly, let me give my traditional hellos and thank yous, and hello Brooklyn. Brett Yormark, thank you for having us here. Lovely Barclays Center. It's really an honor and a privilege to be having both of my fighters on this card. And HBO, obviously, of course, the premier network in the industry. Artie and I signed Demetrius out of the Olympics, and we have high hopes for him. And he's gotten the world championship, and as Artie said, he's got a tough challenge in front of him now, because not only does he have to face the #1 ranked contender in the world, but he also has to be impressive, and he has to make a statement. He has to show the world that he has what we think he had, and what we thought he had 7 years ago when we signed him, and that is the ability to become a superstar in the industry. And that's something he has to do this Saturday night. And Artie, pleased to be here, great promotion, and hopefully in the first fight, we'll be hugging each other, be very happy, and that Demetrius does what he's supposed to do. And also, hopefully in the second fight, you won't be smiling, I will. But we'll see. In any at this point in time, we're going to ask to come up now the father and original trainer of Demetrius, as well as his manager, and that is Paul Andrade and Ed Farris, to come up on behalf of Demetrius before I introduce Demetrius.
Well, hello everybody. It's nice to be out here. You know, I'm from New England. Of course, I love New York, almost as much as a New Yorker. I'd like to thank Brian Rose for taking the challenge. He's got the heart of a lion, coming to America to challenge an American. But I also feel, hey, we fought better opponents. We have a title. We fought undefeated fighters. And we are going to win this fight. No doubt about it. Thank you.
So much. Thank you to Barclays Center. Thank you, Peter Nelson with HBO, for giving us this opportunity. It's a tremendous honor. I've been waiting for this moment since I saw Demetrius for the first time when he was 14 years old, and I thought I saw the most talented fighter that I'd ever seen in my life, and it's been a tremendous honor and quite a ride to be managing him and see everything happen. I've never seen him lose. I've seen him lose a decision. The kid doesn't know how to lose. He's not going to lose Saturday. If Brian Rose brings it, then we're going to have a great fight, and Demetrius is going to look like a superstar. If he runs, then we're going to have to fight like hell to get back on HBO. But we really thank you for the opportunity and for accepting the challenge. I'd like to also thank Artie Palullo and Joe DeGuardia personally for giving us the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Again, he's going to be fighting against the #1 mandatory challenger for the WBO championship. Demetrius will be defending his world title against a very capable Brian Rose. Welcome to the U.S., welcome to New York, Eddie Hearn. Glad to see you here. And I'm looking forward to a great fight on Saturday night between the two of them. And once again, we've had very high expectations of Demetrius since we signed him, Marty and I. World champion from the amateurs, Olympian representing the United States, now a world champion. Saturday night's his time to shine, his time to make an impressive statement to show what the team keeps saying, that he's the best in the world. Saturday night he's going to have to show it, not just win, but look impressive. Undefeated world champion, WBO world champion, Demetrius Andrade.
Still WBO champion of the world, Demetrius Andrade. I've been doing this all my life. I take a lot of joy and pride. I live it, I love it. Come Saturday night, hopefully Brian Rose does bring the best out of Demetrius Andrade so the world can see. If he's running around, to survive, then like we said, I guess we're going to have to be knocking on Peter Nelson's door and taking him out a lot more of Adi. It's just, I'm grateful to be here. All glory due to the Most High, of course. And, we're just ready to put everything we've been talking about in action and display the skills and talents that I have. And God bless everybody on this card today. Hopefully everybody goes home the same way they come. And thank you for showing up and advocating with us.
Before we talk about the main event, I have to make a little presentation. Most of the people know who Richard Sloan is. He's one of the great young artists in boxing. And every so often, I commission him to do a painting for special events and special fights. And this is a special event to be in this building with Brett, our first time ever, Ruslan's first title defense on his own, creating the main event, carrying the show. So I'd like to present something right now to Ruslan, Chris Algieri, and Brett. The painting that was commissioned by Richard Sloan for the show, and it's the artwork. That's in the last show, most important one, the boss, and this is for Brett. And thank you for having us. In Denver, I also have one for Bob, like I did for Denver. In Denver, Alvarado got the first painting. Ruslan got the second because he was the challenger. Now it's the other way around. He's got the #1 print, he's got the second, he's the challenger. You win the fight, you get the #1 print in the next fight. And the third one was to Brett to say thank you. Thank you for having us. Thanks for the building to be so generous and gracious in how they've been treating us. So, thank you for everything. Now the main event. I'm going to bring up Joe to talk about Chris, because as you know, he's promoted by Star Boxing. And Carl's right when he said that Chris has the style to beat Ruslán Provodnikov, because his style is a puncher, boxer, and he can box. And he's a great fighter. He's a hard-working kid. He's undefeated. It's going to be a very interesting fight. It's the kind of fight where he has everything to gain, and he has the ability and the style to beat Ruslán Проводников. So I'd like to bring up Joe right now to talk about Chris. He's a great guy, college graduate, right? Going to med school? Eventually. I need a doctor. So here's Joe DeGuardia to talk about Chris Algieri.
Thanks again, Artie. So, DJ and Shorty mentioned how half of Long Island is going to be here for Shorty. Well, Saturday's a good time, I guess, for people who want to go to the beaches on Long Island because it's usually packed with traffic. But the other half of Long Island is also going to be here for Chris Algieri. So we're expecting a great, packed house of Long Island fans on Saturday night. And it's been really a pleasure to promote Chris. Frankly, we started at a beautiful venue in Huntington, in his hometown, the Paramount, which has sold out every show that Chris has been on and has really revitalized boxing in Long Island. And I attribute a lot of that to Chris because really I went to the Paramount because of Chris. And since then, it has taken a leg of its own and sells out every show. And really, when you think about it, it's the kind of character and personality that he has that really transcends the typical fans and people that are interested in this sport. With the background that he has outside the ring, there are things that people become interested in. And why is that? He's got a Bachelor of Arts degree. He's got a master's degree, master's in nutrition. All the types of things that you look at and say, wow, he's really accomplished an awful lot outside the ring. And for all of that, he's put his medical school studies on hold, his MCATs on hold, so he could pursue his boxing career. And you know what? He's been very successful inside the ring as well. He's been a kickboxing champion before he became a boxer, and now is undefeated, 19-0, as a professional. On Saturday night, he reaches the pinnacle of boxing, the World Championship on HBO here at the Barclays Center against the most feared fighter in the industry, Ruslán Проводникov. What a beautiful story. Ultimately, they're going to be in that ring. It's a clash of styles, as everybody states. It's going to be the bull versus the matador. And every possible cliche that you can put together is going to be in that ring on Saturday night. And I want to say that I'm pleased to be involved in it. I'm very proud to be promoting Chris. And I'm very much looking forward to Saturday night so that he can show everybody that he has the capabilities and talent to be able to perform inside the ring as he has done so far in his undefeated record, but also as he has also done outside the ring. At this point in time, prior to introducing Chris, I'm going to introduce his trainer and guru. And like I said, Chris is a master nutritionist and everything else, and Tim Lane, his trainer, is also part and parcel with that same program. So I'm going to ask him to come up. Tim Lane, say a few words. He's been working with Chris Algieri since the get-go, right? Tim Lane.
Hello, Brooklyn, and welcome to the Chris Algieri Show. The camp went very well. Chris is prepared, and he's going to do what he has to do on Saturday night. And he's going to bring that belt home right there. Thank you.
So I did most of my introduction prior to introducing Tim, so at this point in time, I'm going to ask him to come up. Again, man I'm very proud of. I think he's done an awful lot, both inside and outside the ring. And on Saturday night, I'm looking forward to him walking out with the championship of the world in what I expect to be a great fight and a perfect example of this sweet science. Chris Algieri.
Good afternoon, Brooklyn. First thing I'd like to say, it's truly an honor to be back here at the Barclays. This is actually only my second time being here. The first time was at the first press conference. I would like to thank all the promotions involved in this show, Banner Promotions, Star Boxing, Top Rank. I'd like to thank HBO for televising and putting this all together. This is truly a dream come true. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. It's the time for talking is pretty much over. Really, the hard work is done. It's time to go out there and fight. I'm sure Ruslán can agree with me on that. Time for talk is over. I'm fully prepared to be here. This is a dream come true, and we're ready to rock. All right, guys, I'll see you on Saturday night. Thank you.
Ruslán and I have been together from the very beginning. And at the opening press conference, I mentioned that I went to Russia 7 years ago and sat with some local promoters, and my partner still with Ruslán is German Team Top. We're in the lobby of the Savoy Hotel, and he says, to have this kid, we've got several fighters, but I have this one kid, it's an amateur standout, and he's going to be something special. So, you know, I don't know. So I signed him all. And we put him on his first card, I believe, was an Acelino Freitas world title fight at Foxwoods. And then from there, like Peter said, we had. And then ESPN got involved. We're interested with him. And he's just a terrific kid. He's TV friendly, he's fan friendly. He's totally focused on winning. Lost to Herrera. Not the same fighter he was when he lost to Herrera because of his trainer now. And then got the opportunity, after 7 years, 5.5, 6 years, to fight Timothy Bradley. Didn't win the fight, but rose to the occasion the way he had to. We thought he won. We thought Pat missed a couple knockdowns. But at the end of the day, the fight that he had with Bradley, and most of the media at that time thought it was a mismatch, was unbelievable. Bradley's still not right. He says, Artie, I'm still not right from that fight. Then he goes to Denver, into Alvarado's hometown, and Alvarado, who's never been down, twice in the 8th, and then has to retire on the stool. Never been down his whole career. So this is his first time as it's his event. His first HBO main event, but he is the A side. And he knows in order to stay at that level, Chris Algieri is trying to do what he did. And he knows he got to stop that from happening. So, and now I'd like to talk about Vadim. Vadim is probably the best manager in the business. He's so thorough. He's been with us for 6 years. I started first as a translator, then became Ruslán's manager, and he's a good kid. His dad's here, good people, raised the right way. His mom's here too, and tolerates this crazy promoter. Freddie comes on, we bring him in the gym. Everything happens for a reason. This is what I'm trying to say. Everything happens, and lots of it has to be luck, but lots of it has to work. Everything happens for a reason. Vadim takes him to Freddie. Freddie now has him sparring with Manny Pacquiao. Aaron calls me up, Artie, this kid can fight. He's unbelievable. We gotta put him in a fight. And that's how things happen. Vadim had the insight to take him to Freddie, and Freddie created another Ruslán Проводникov. It's not the same one who lost a couple of years ago. Aaron sees him in the gym, and he gets the opportunity to fight Bradley, and that's why we're here. And that's how it works sometimes. So right now, I just want to say, I want to thank Freddie. I want to bring Vadim up, I want to introduce Freddie, and then I want to introduce Ruslán. But it's going to be a great fight. Because just like the first fight, they're both at a different point where they both need to go somewhere else. He wants to stay on top. He wants to fight Pacquiao. He wants to fight Garcia. He wants to beat him so that he can fight Pacquiao. Bob already said, Algieri wins the fight, he's getting Pacquiao. Bob already put it in place. So right now I'd like to bring up Vadim to talk about Ruslán and then introduce Freddie, the Hall of Fame trainer, who took me to a very good Italian restaurant last night.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it, Artie. I appreciate all the support and everything that you guys do for us. I just want to say that it's a big honor to be here. I want to first of all thank the host, Brett Yormark. I want to thank Mikhail Prokhorov, Sergey Kushenko. They've helped us a lot in making this happen. Originally the fight was going to be at a different location, but I think the fact that we're here is making this event a lot more attractive and a completely different level event. So I appreciate that. Definitely Peter Nelson was here and HBO. I really appreciate the chance that we were given with Bradley. If it wasn't for that, maybe Ruslán would not have taken off at that point and would not be here sitting as a world champion. About the fight, most of the things that could have been said have been said. I just want to say that Chris Algieri is a great fighter. He's definitely undefeated, definitely never tasted defeat, and he doesn't know how to lose. The only thing I hope is that Ruslán's dedicated to the sport. There's nothing but boxing in his life. For 20 years, he says in every interview, I don't see my family, I don't see anybody, I'm just boxing, boxing, boxing. And Chris Algieri, he has other obligations. He has medical school, he has education, nutritional interests and all of that. I hope that is not a distraction to him, and I hope he's willing to give everything to boxing in this training camp and in this fight. Because if he's not, I think it's going to be a very, very difficult fight for him, because no matter what the styles are, I think the person who puts in the most into his training camp is the person that will win this fight. Lastly, I would like to thank Top Rank, Paul Moretti. I appreciate for you guys giving us the chance with Bradley. And Alvarado, if it wasn't for that, we'd probably not have the title as well. I would like to introduce Freddie Roach. He's the man that we owe everything to. He's the guy that made this happen. He's undisputed the best trainer in the world. If it wasn't for him, Marvin Samodio, Gavin McMillan, Marie, everybody, Eddie Akaway, our team, if it wasn't for them, this would have never happened. Please welcome Freddie Roach, the best trainer in the world.
Thank you, and welcome to the Ruslán Проводnikov show. This is Ruslán's. This is a big fight for us. Something we're looking forward to, and I'd like to wish Chris the best of luck. And it's going to be a great fight. The setting is perfect. I'll see y'all Saturday night. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ruslán Проводников.
Hello, Brooklyn, I am home. Я рад вас здесь всех видеть, я благодарен, что вы пришли и не остались равнодушным к этому событию.
I'm happy to see you all here. I'm glad that you guys are not disregarding this big event, and I'm happy that you guys are supporting us.
Я рад видеть Криса в хорошей форме и в полном здравии, его команду.
I'm very happy to see Chris. He had a great training camp. I'm sure he looks great. No injuries. That's what's important, and the whole team is here.
Сегодня не хочется уже много говорить, так как все, что я хочу сказать, я расскажу в ринге.
I don't want to talk too much today. Everything I want to say, I will say in the ring tomorrow, on Saturday.
Скажу лишь одно, что 14 июня выйдет снова тот самый голодный претендент, которому нечего терять, который сделает все для того, чтобы выиграть.
I can just say one thing. On June 14th, in the ring, it will be the same hungry challenger that has nothing to lose and is willing to do anything to win this fight.
Я не боюсь проиграть, так как титул, он не дает ничего, ни денег, ни славы. Многие боксеры заблуждаются, и Крис, думая, что став чемпионом мира, они обретут деньги и славу.
I'm not afraid to lose this fight or any other fight because I know the title and the win doesn't get you the money or the respect or the popularity. And some boxers are making a mistake thinking, including Chris, that winning a title is going to get you any of that.
Я хочу сказать, что это не так. Титул не дает ничего. Самое дорогое, что у меня есть, оно останется при любом раскладе при мне. Это любовь моего народа, это любовь фанатов, это любовь земляков. Вот что поистине самое дорогое. И даже если я проиграю, меня любить меньше не будет.
What I have, nobody can take away from me. Even if you were to beat me, you can't take it away from me. It's the way I fight it, and the support of my people, the support of my national people, people of Russia, and all my fans. You can't take that away from me.
Я благодарен всем, кто причастен к этому событию. Их много, я перечислять не буду, все они знают, просто знаете, что я благодарен вам всем. И я очень рад, что сегодня и во время боя вся моя команда будет в сборе. Сегодня все здесь. Самое главное, Фредди Роуч будет в моем углу, это очень важно для меня.
I want to say thank you to everybody who made this happen, but everybody who's supporting this event. There's a lot of people, I'm not going to list the entire list of people, but I just want to say that, I remember all of you guys and I appreciate everything you've done for me. Most importantly, my team will be complete in this fight. the most important person, Freddie Roach, is going to be there. For me, that's very, very important.
Я ринусь в бой, достойный схватки, последний на свой век. Живи и умирай в сей день. Живи и умирай в сей день.
I will dash into the fight that's worthy of a battle, the last one for my age. Live and die every day. Live and die every day.
Желаю удачи Крису. Надеюсь, что мы покажем хороший бой. Удачи.
Good luck to Chris, and I hope that we have a great fight. Good luck.
I just want to make one announcement before we open up for questions. The doors will be open tomorrow at 11:30 for the weigh-in. It's open to the public. The fighters will have to be here at 11, and we'll be on the scale at 12 noon. But it is open to the public, and the doors will be open at 11:30. Right now, we'd like to open up for questions. There's microphones in the audience. Anybody would like to ask questions to anybody on the dais? Anybody? Okay, that will be after this. Okay. Any questions? Hold on, there's a lady with a microphone.
Hey, Chris Lloyd Carroll from the Queen's Chronicle, Good Times Magazine, Long Island. Tell me about the college, what's your degree in, what school, you got Huntington High School, and what med school are we looking for here?
All right, tight group. Let's just look at the cameras, please. Move up a little bit, you got everybody, please. Be mindful of cameras behind you.
Get down, please.
Down in front, please. Okay, we're going to pair everyone off now. Everyone go with the group shot? All right, let's do Ruslan and Shawnee. I mean, Ruslan and Chris. That's right. Jerry, no way. Here, guys. Look up a little bit, please. You guys behind. You guys want to face